DD, not just a couple. And before you know it, there'll be over 70 logged in. Yeah, there's a lot of people that show up to the coaching. So welcome everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope life is treating you well. Hope you had a great weekend. And welcome to the coaching. Let's get started. So for those that may be new to the coaching, what I do is I go over my stuff first, and then I'm happy to take questions later on. But allow me please to do my stuff, and then feel free to ask all the questions that you want. Congratulations, Tom. That is exciting. That's amazing. Wow. So you had a pretty exciting weekend. I had the mentorship last week where I traded with people, basically 34 traders the whole week on webcam, on camera, with screen share, and that's exhausting. And then on top of that, I had to help my mom and my younger brother move. Of course, I hired movers, but still, this weekend was a bit. The last week and the weekend was exhausting. So today I couldn't trade. I basically couldn't trade. But at any rate, let's get started. So the market has been a little bit crazy. Where we had a break of the uptrend on the daily chart. We broke under this pivot, but I don't know, not on a closing basis, you can say, right? We still, for sure, broke the trend line, broke under the 20, and we looked a little toppy. Today, kind of fixed that, but the truth is we have to wait for follow-through. The thing is, in order to get follow through, you have to get 2 green bars in a row. And I don't mean like we got 2 green bars here, but they stayed in the same range. That second green bar almost was within the range of the first bar, almost. So if we get another green bar tomorrow, then back to bullish with a little hiccup. Tomorrow we gap down, then back to who knows, right? Back inside of that mess. We had a similar action happen in August of 2019. I have to say, in 2019, which sounds like last year, but it was actually the year before. Here it is. We had huge gap downs, huge gap ups. One trend day down, next day was a trend day up. It was like that every day almost. And I have to say, not a single swing trade worked. It felt, probably I'm exaggerating, but very, very few things worked. Short and long. Whatever triggered long the previous day would stop out the next day, and vice versa. Whatever triggered short. So we want to be careful until the market kind of settles down a little bit. Okay? But those are not, these big down, big up days, unless they're consistent in the direction. That's not good for swing trading. It may be okay for day trading, but it's sure as heck not good for swing trading. So we just want to be careful until things settle. We're gonna have a weekly buy setup if we go back up, and this platform today something is up with it. I'm trying to go to weekly time frame, and it's not going. So here's the weekly. So we don't have a weekly buy setup, but we have a weekly pullback. And if we break under this, about 310 or so, then the next stop would be the prior support. This is way too early, 270 or so, 267. Too early for now. We just want to see if we can get follow through to the upside, and if we do, then at least I think we can say that the short-term bearishness has kind of subsided. Okay, so we just want to see if we can get follow through to the upside. If we come back down into the range tomorrow, then who knows? We'll have to just wait until this range is kind of dealt with. Okay, and in the meantime, take it real easy on the swing plays. With the swing plays, Take it real easy. I think today every play, with the exception of two, made money. Was up and was up good. So here's the open plays. So the MDCA, I wasn't sure what to do. When I sent you the email this afternoon or at lunch, it didn't look very good. Okay, with the breakout failure, and it's reporting earnings. Friday we kept 3 that were reporting earnings. Every one of them went against us on Friday. So, but the GSM is also reporting, but this one looks good. So I don't mind keeping something that looks really good overnight into earnings. But when I looked at the MDCA, and it looked, I mean, we didn't have a green bar at all. Breakout failure, weekly was a big top and tail. Again, this platform is today, I'm having a hard time with it. Hold on just a second. Something is up with it today. So here's the weekly. It had a big top and tail, was staying at the bottom. So I killed it, and I don't want to be out of the stock because I had 3 different entries in it, I think. 3 different positions, meaning I had a lot of shares in it. I like it a lot on the monthly. Beautiful monthly. See, I'm trying to go to the monthly and it just doesn't go. So beautiful monthly. I don't know which way this is gonna go. Based on the way we closed, probably higher. But I'm out of the MDCA. Reports in the morning. The GSM, I'm in. And it's supposed to report tonight. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. So MDCA, I'm out. Hate it to be out. This one moved up a little bit. It's a transition A on the monthly. That's the monthly. And daily is a buy setup in the money by a little bit. Another transition A on the monthly. Transition A means, you know, it's based on the basic unit. This is called the atom or the basic unit. The way in which all stocks move. So when the stock breaks out from stage 1 consolidation into stage 2, that's called transition A. Okay, and then B is at the top, and when we break down is C. When we go back down and put in a climactic bottom, that's transition D. Okay, and that's the uptrend, that's the downtrend. So every cycle happens like that to some extent. There are variations. There are variations, but for the most part they look all similar. Maybe it's not the platform, maybe it's my computer today that's acting up a little bit. So this one is in the money. Win is winning. We took it as a breakout this day, I believe. So it's been nice. GE is a long-term play, and we're gonna go ahead and raise the stop. I kept the stop down at the bottom, so now I'm gonna raise the stop to 1240. Okay, long-term play. GSM, another entry. Voyager, this one was down today, but it is up overall. The entry was under the space as a base breakdown, 650, 640 something. So it's in the money, and the Voyager doesn't have a target, but I'm probably gonna lower the stop to 603. It'll be in the money by a little bit, by about 1 hour, exactly 1 hour. If it takes out 602 or so. RES, oil stock. My only regret about the RES is that I didn't get more shares. I didn't do it with like $2,000 risk. I did it with $1,000 risk. I mean, this looks picture perfect. The wide range bar that took it right to the top of the base, and then the doji bar, and then the 1, 2, 3 breakout. Totally perfect. I could have even put the stop right here, but to be safe, I put it, I don't know, here or here. But I should have done more size in it. It's still up. I don't know how much. It's still up over an hour. Still good, but I should have done it full share size. So rather than the $1,000 risk, I should have done $2,000 risk. Looks higher to $10. Though oil is a little toppy, I think. USO had a reversal on. I talked about it during the mentorship last week, that it, for the first time ever, maybe since that bar, we got a reversal bar. That's a nice doji bar to play short, and I thought about shorting it, but I don't know, didn't do it. So that was how it looked basically. If it was under the 20 on the hourly, I probably would have done it. So I don't know if oil topped out or if this is just a pullback. So RES is oil, and DRNA gapped back up. Thank God, because it almost stopped out. If you stuck with the stop, it almost stopped out on Friday. So it gapped back up. So this is a longer term play also. If you look at the monthly chart, the monthly is a breakout, so it's pretty good. It's been basing for the whole year, no, all of last year at the prior resistance, and now is breaking out above it. So it should really get up there to 40 is the next resistance area. I don't know if it'll get there, but that's kind of the next resistance area. It'll be almost 100% gain if it got there. And PRTA, so PRTA and Voyager were the only two that I noticed that lost a little bit of money today. PRTA, I don't know, this might have been a mistake to get in it that day, and because it didn't really look very good. But the issue is I wanted to be in the stock. I mean, it looked really, really good. It looks really, really good on the monthly, but on the daily doesn't look so good. So maybe I made a mistake getting back in. Okay, on the PRTA. The two calls that I made today were fold, which does not look good. Looks like I'm gonna take a stop on it. Somebody sent me an email and said that fold reported in the pre-market. So basically, and I figured, if it opens flat and shoots up, then I will be in it. So apparently it gapped up a little bit above the entry and then pulled back into the entry and then kept going. So this one does not look good. The idea for this was like blue, which I didn't call because I didn't like the hourly chart. But basically big gap down and then bottomed. And so fold looks really good on the hourly chart, but here's the hourly chart. It looked really good with a breakdown failure right here. So I figured breakout should get us back up to 14, but I guess I'm wrong. We'll find out tomorrow. Didn't stop. We'll find out tomorrow. KPTI, I should have played it on Friday. I hesitated a little bit, and then I think I forgot about it. Like, I wasn't sure whether I was going to do it or not, and then I said, okay, I'll come back to it once I'm done with my watch list, and then I just forgot about it. So this stock, we tried it twice already as a long, and it didn't work. And both times it was nicely in the money, and then it just didn't work. But look at this. That looks lower now. Does not look higher. Why did I try it long? Because of the monthly buy setup. So let me show you the monthly. So that's the buy setup. But is the buy setup working? Nope. It is not working at all. Looks lower. So this one triggered. I'm gonna go ahead and add to it tomorrow. Because look, I should have gotten in it either here or at least here on Friday. I didn't. So that I should have already been in it. So today it had already moved a lot, so I don't have much size in it, but I probably am going to add to it under 1360 for tomorrow, okay, to add to the position, and then still use this as a stop and go just $2,000 risk. Okay, we probably will get a gap down tomorrow, but I don't know for sure. The Q is actually up another dollar in the after hours, or so it's, yeah, they are. Qs is up $1 in the after hours. Okay, which is about 1/3 of 1%, I guess. Okay, about 1/3 of 1%. So not a whole lot, but still. So again, for those logging in right now, I see we have now 61 people. When I started talking, there was only about 40. I said the key thing is to clear this range, because you notice, guys, last couple of days how good the swings were not very good. We got stopped out, shaken out of a lot of plays. Why? It's not because the plays were no good. The plays were and have been wonderful, the swing plays, but the market got crazy, and so we already had 25 different positions. So a lot of them trailed out, or some maybe even stopped out. And so that was last week. So it's really important to clear, to get some clarity, to let the market kind of tell us in a calm and peaceful way which way it's going, which direction, right? It's gonna go in before we start taking a lot of plays again. So it's gonna be very slim pickings, so to speak, over the next couple days until I feel comfortable over the market. So here's my watches for tomorrow. I didn't look at the ideas to see what they've done, so let's take a look at the ideas real quick. Probably the shorts, none of them triggered, but I don't know if the longs triggered. OMI is going to be on my list for tomorrow. It is on my list, so we'll talk about it in a little bit. This one didn't trigger. This one looks lower, by the way, PROG, but we'll talk about it. So I guess this one looks good for tomorrow, okay? And Tesla didn't trigger. Tesla went back up. Okay, can I tell you something real quick? This is like completely off tangent. I have a friend, a neighbor also, lives in the same building, and I've talked about him a lot before. He has Tesla. He has 4,000 shares of Tesla. He had 800, but they did the 5-to-1 split, I think, so he has 4,000 now. And I was talking to him before, or right, I'm not sure if it was before or right after the Tesla joined the S&P 500. Was that here or was that here? I don't remember, but he said at the time, I asked him if he was gonna sell, and he at all, anytime soon. He said no, but if it like shoots up to 900 or so, I think I will. It's so funny, isn't it? He was right. Look at this, 940 cents. Got his target, never got out. I mean, it might go back up. I doubt it. I doubt that Tesla would go back up to 900 even over the next year or so. Meaning, I think this is going to be a long-term top for Tesla, or at least, you know, for the foreseeable future. But it's so funny how, and then when it got to 900, because we work out, he and I, he's actually, you know, his occupation is a personal trainer. He's really good. So sometimes he and I work out, and we used to work out every other day, but I just don't have as much time anymore. So at any rate, so when it got to 900, he said, well, if it gets to 1200, so funny. It just goes to show you there's no end to greed. There's no end to greed. Human greed. And you know, sometimes I see it in me, I see it in other people. So it got to 900. That was his target when it was back here. He said if it shoots up to 900, and it did. And he just picked a number. And now when it was at 900, he said 1200. And I'm sure if it had popped to 1200, he would have said, okay, 1500. So my point is, I just wanted to share that with you because I just think it's ironic. It's something that we battle a lot as traders. You have to balance your greed and fear. I mean, you just have to do it. Being greedy is good when the stock is working when it's going in your favor, but you also have to be cautious. Like, I don't know how you have to balance caution with greed. And then when the stock is going against you, you have to be fearful, but also with reason, not like panic, but fearful enough that you take action. So I think fear and greed, not only is it a strong human, not only are they strong human emotions that we as human beings deal with in our lives, but we are confronted with those emotions on a trade-by-trade basis. I mean, almost minute by minute as traders. So you kind of have to be careful. You have to like really watch out for fear and greed. All right, let's get going here. So the plays, this one we had swing, and just like everything else, not true, not everything, but I had a lot of good plays, like really nice monthly, weekly charts. You know, this is a nice monthly, nice weekly, whatever, that gap down because of the market, and so stopped me out. Okay, did it make some money? Sure, but you know, it never. I felt like a lot of the trades that stopped out last week or that trailed out never really worked or didn't work. Like they never came to fruition. The trades never really like worked out on their own or failed on their own. It was just due to the gyrations, the huge swings in the market. And again, that kind of stuff is horrible for swing trading. In March, I kid you not, I think I took like 24 stops in a row. And I know you might be thinking, what? You took 24? I mean, something like this. Some crazy number that I've never done before. Oh, on the Qs. And not in March. Did I say in March? In August of 2019. This month. I don't know how. You can go to the spreadsheet, the tracking spreadsheet. It reflects my actual activity. Okay, my actual trading. I don't know how many stops I took in a row. I'd never experienced anything like it. So the mistake was, obviously, I should have immediately, when I saw that the market was just super wild, I should have, put the brakes on, right? But I continued to play because I kept finding setups and they kept failing, shorts and longs. So I'm not gonna make that mistake here, but a lot of the plays that we were in last week trailed out. I have to say, Tesla was my best trade last week. I got super lucky. First, if I ever call Tesla, it's never gonna be sized correctly. I don't know why. Actually, I sized it correctly initially on Tesla. I had the right size was like 30 shares, and then and then one of those days on the hourly chart, I decided to go to 75. So the average was about 785. Okay. Guess where I covered it? At 622. I believe 622. Can you believe it? So I made 11,000 and some change. It's 11,400, something like this, on on the Tesla play. So that was my best trade in terms of overall result, in terms of overall money, and the best exit. Also the Zillow, I know. So this is the thing about our little newsletter. So here's the thing. I have to pick the target for you in advance, okay? But sometimes the play is really going. Should you get out at the target? I mean, what if the play is... So Tesla, I picked the target. I don't remember the exact target. And the same with Zillow. Pick the target, the 20 MA. Kind of eyeballed the 20 MA and I said, okay, it's going to be around 160. But it was crashing. Should I just jump out because it simply reached my target? I didn't. So on Zillow and Tesla, I managed to stick with them all the way to the low. And on Zillow, I got a nice doji bar. I should have flipped it. And I thought about it, but I didn't do it. So this was my exit. I mean, I could have flipped it. Look at this. And Tesla, after exiting, it popped $100. Exactly $100. Crazy stuff. So those two were my favorite trades because I had perfect exits on them. And the reason why I knew to exit at that time at 10 o'clock is because this was also my best call in terms of just like my best call last week. So last week was the last week of February. So was it Tuesday? Tuesday, I think. But I'll just double check that when the market gapped down. Yes, the 23rd. Okay. So here's the thing, guys. If you have, this is a rule. Okay, this is a rule for you to follow. Pretty much a rule. If the market drops a lot the previous day, so the market closed down, I don't know, 4%, I think. It was huge. Maybe 3, I believe it was like close to 4%, 3.7 or something like this on the Monday. So the next day the market was gapping down. We can do the math. We can go back and check. I don't know how much. It was like 2%. So here's the rule. Every rule has exceptions sometimes, but in general, if the market is down a lot, and then the next day it gaps down, then you're gonna get the bottom by either at the open. Sometimes you get the bottom. The market rallies, but that's risky. It might not. The safest bet is to wait for 10 o'clock. So sometimes, the market is down a lot, so you get here's a big red bar the previous day on the daily chart, and the next day gaps down and gets bought. Sure. But who knows at the open. So the safest thing to do is to wait for 10 o'clock. And if we sell off first, If the market gaps down, let's say to here, sells off, then 10 o'clock, I'm not even kidding, has like a 90% chance of getting a bounce. So at 10 o'clock, I told the students, and as I said, I had 34 of them, that this is probably going to be the bottom for today. And based on the rally, the rally we got, I said this is probably going to be the bottom for the week. But it wasn't, because I think, so this was the bottom. Maybe it held. I don't know if it held. 311.10. No, it didn't hold. So this was it. See it? So we got the gap down after the 3.5% gap down. We got the gap down, huge gap down. Look at this, from 322 to 317, and then the sell-off into 10 o'clock. So I figured, okay, cover Tesla. Actually, it wasn't quite 10 o'clock, 9:50. Cover Tesla, cover Zillow, but I didn't do the market long, and that was a huge rally, and it held for days. It just okay. So see that all the time, highs as well. Why 10 a.m.? I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. It's 10 a.m. is a reversal time in the market. Hey Alex, no problem. Welcome. Good to have you. So 10 o'clock is a reversal time in the market. So the market we have 9 reversal times: 10, 10:30, 11:15. One of them is usually the major reversal time in the morning. And if the market was down a lot the previous day and the next day gaps down and sells off at the open, 10 o'clock will be the bottom. And the 10 o'clock, just like the 2:15 to 2:30 reversal time, it's more 9:50 to 10 o'clock. It's like 10 minutes before, 10 minutes after. But it's more, so the 10 o'clock is more of a range than any other time frames. And here's Tesla that day. So this was, hold on. This was Tesla on the 23rd. Here it is. Look at that. So I covered it at the bottom there. And look at I should have flipped it, right? Look at this. Went from 619 to, non-stop. Almost non-stop, with one hiccup right here, to 706, 710, $90. Okay, and then I think it closed at the high. It closed up over 100. No, not over $100. Just under $100. Oh no, it sold off here a little bit. So at any rate, from 619 closed at, let's say, 700. Incredible. And then the next day it rallied some more. So amazing. Maybe Salt. We will never really know. There are many reasons, we can attribute to 10 o'clock, to other time frames, 3 o'clock, the bond market, the 9:35. Do we know for sure? We don't. But the reversal times do work, not all the time, and most of the time, if the 10 o'clock works, then the 10:30 will not generate a reversal. If we don't get a reversal at 10 o'clock, we don't get a reversal at 10:30, then the 11:15 would be we would have very high odds of there would be very high odds of getting a reversal at 11:15. So I don't know why they work, but I know they do. And so, but that rule, I just wanted to share that with you. Whether you're a day trader, swing trader, as you saw, I used it for swing trading too. So, okay. So if the rule is, if the market was down a lot the previous day, and then the next day the market gaps down and sells off, then at the 10 o'clock reversal time will be the bottom. Probably 9 out of 10 times, maybe 8 out of 10 times. I don't know, but it is incredible how accurate it is. So that was last Tuesday. Was my best day, I think, last week. Well, I know it was my best day in the swing account. Tesla alone made 11K. Okay. Yeah, so the reversal times, Matt, are 9:35. I'll just go ahead and type them in. 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11:15. Oops. I'm just going to ignore the commas. 11:15, 12 o'clock, 1:30, 2:15 to 2:30, and then 3 o'clock and 3:30. Okay, those are the 9 reversal times. The 9:35 is good because you get the 5-minute entry, the 5-minute bar completes, so you can play under it short if you want to play a gap down in the morning, or above it long. So that's the 9:35. 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11:15. They don't all work in the same day. But if the 10 o'clock works and generates a reversal, then it's unlikely that the 10:30 would work. It's more likely that we would get a reversal at the 11:15 reversal time. 12 o'clock is the noon reversal time. It only works when you have a dead sideways market all morning into lunch. Then you get a breakout at noon, around noon. Or if you get a unidirectional, like a one directional move all morning into lunch, one of these two, then noon becomes a good reversal time to play. Otherwise, it's usually not a real reversal time. It just signals the beginning of the lunch doldrums. 1:30 is when the market is hot. Doesn't usually wait for the 2:15 to 2:30. So 1:30, usually is only when we have a very dynamic market. And then 2:15 to 2:30 is the major reversal time for the afternoon, and the direction we get, the move we get out of that reversal time, yields usually the direction for the rest of the day. And it's usually a reversal of whatever move we got at lunch, and a continuation of the move that we got in the morning. So I don't know what today was a trend day, by the way. So this is the 2:15. Started a little early. And then notice a reversal of the move at lunch and a continuation of the morning move usually. So by the way, you can't apply the reversal times to today. Today is one of those trend days when you don't get a reversal. You shouldn't expect a reversal. Okay, and then 3:30 is more of a continuation of 3 o'clock is more of a continuation of the move that we got between 2:30 to 3 o'clock, and 3:30 is the reversal of the last 30 minutes. It's a whole, like, I can spend about 30 minutes talking about the reversal times. So it's a topic most suitable for day trading, not for swing trading, but it's good to know. A lot of you are day and swing traders. Okay, Jason, 2 bars in your favor. Is it 2 bars, not including the entry bar? No, you can include the entry bar too, if you get, if it's a nice solid bar. Okay, you can include the entry bar too. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the plays for tomorrow. And then, so box L is not ready. How do I know it's not ready? It's not that it's not ready. It's just that it's too messy. It's too sloppy. But I would like to see if we can get back in it. We were in it already from here to there, and then it gapped down because of the market. I like it on the monthly chart. So this is not for tomorrow, but it's something that I'd like to keep an eye on over the coming days. This one is more of a daily buy setup, hourly transition A. Okay, box L does not look like the market. I mean, just compare this to the market. It's at the 20, and it's not just the daily. Look at the monthly. That does not look like the market. Here's the market. Okay, so no, it's not the market. So we'll just keep an eye on it as a longer term play. But CTRM is a buy setup. Doesn't really look that good for tomorrow. Over the red bars high. Ignore this one. The EOLS is a breakout on the hourly chart. Usually I don't play breakouts on the hourly chart unless I really like the daily. Meaning, I don't play the hourly without a good daily setup. And I don't really see the good daily setup on this stock. But if you want over the base stop, you could do it right here, $12, or the wider stop would be under this pivot. It'd be a really big stop, $2, under $11. I don't think I'll be doing this one. FSR. So check this out. On Thursday, I played the earnings plays because there was just too many good ones. So I took this as an earnings play long FSR. I got stopped out the next day. I got trailed out at the bottom on Friday. This is Friday, and then it went up. So this was the one. So this is Thursday. That's Friday. So it gapped up in my favor. It's a 1, 2, 3 on the daily chart after an island reversal gap. That's an island reversal gap here, extremely bullish. Gapped up in my favor, moved up, and then it came crashing down, stopped me out, and then went up 32%. What the hell? Groupon. Exact same play. I was in it on Friday from Thursday. So Thursday it looked like this into earnings. Took it. And it gapped up in my favor. Crashed initially. Came crashing down. Here it is. I was in it. stopped me out under the 5. I don't know where the 5 was. It's a 15-minute chart. Stopped me out, and then look at this. What the heck? Isn't that incredible? I mean, incredible. What does that tell you? The current environment, it's not good. Is not good for swing trading, because you're gonna get stopped out, especially earnings plays when the market is this wild. So I got stopped out on Groupon. I got stopped out on FSR. Now, neither of them, I don't think, lost money. Both of them made a tiny bit. But Groupon, it is doubled. Almost doubled. From the bottom to the top, from 35 to 60 today. And it closed at 57.50. I mean, crazy stuff. And FSR, as I said, after I got out, it closed up 32% on the day. So, and I got out at the bottom. So crazy. Too bad. This looks higher, by the way, long term. A lot of people ask me about this. It's an EV stock, obviously. They have a pretty nice car. I mean, if the actual car ends up looking like the prototype. So this looks higher long term. I'm not going to be playing it for tomorrow, but looks higher long term. And KLR is just really, really bullish. Did not pull back at all with the market. I've done some plays where I just was playing the uptrend basically, and the relative strength to the market, where I just basically got in and then put the stop way down here so that it cannot be, it couldn't stop out without a big gap against me, and then I just wrote it up. I did it in the newsletter, meaning not on my own, but I mean they were official plays, a couple of them like this, but I don't remember the symbol. TLGT maybe, or no, it was an expensive stock. I forget the symbols, but so this looks higher, but you have to give it a lot of room if you want to play it. A lot of room. OMI is interesting also. Gapped up, very nice gap. If you day trade gaps, you have a stock that was. I like this kind of a gap more when the 20 is uptrending. Okay, and then you have a stock that's above it, and then sells off below it like so, and then the next day gaps back above it. So price kind of the moving average reclaims the 20, or vice versa. So you see what happened there? Bullish stock, but in this case a flat 20. It's not as good as when it's rising. When it's rising like so, and then the stock traded below it for a couple of days, and then gaps above it, this is a very, very good gap. In this case, not as good, but worked really well still. And so it's basing at the highs. This is very, very good as a swing long, but a huge stop. I mean, the stop would be right here. So there it is. Entry over 35.75, stop under 32.18. It looks really good. I'm probably gonna call it, but in terms of reward to risk, based on the size of the stop, we might not have enough reward to risk. So the weekly looks great, but this the issue is what's the reward to risk on it. A lot of times I don't, I pass on plays because the reward to risk is initially not good, only to regret it, because only to see them exceed my initial target. So the first resistance area, we're already there. $37. I mean, so we're already there. So the target is $40. There it is. It's not enough R to R. I don't think it is. So 35.73 stop. We said 32 something. Stop would be 32.18. So that's like we said 35. I mean, that's huge. That's $3.50 to 40. That's not enough R to R. Otherwise, this looks good. Okay. Otherwise, this looks good. OMI for tomorrow. If you like it and you can use a tighter stop, I don't see a tighter stop other than right here, 32.67 rather than 32.18. But it doesn't have a tight base at all. Otherwise, again, looks good. SEM, nice gap up over a wide range red bar, and if today was a narrow range bar, or if today stayed inside of Friday's range, for sure I would play it tomorrow, but I think it's still good still, even though this doesn't qualify as a 1-2-3 setup. The 1-2-3 setup looks like this. You get the gap or the igniting bar, the narrow range bar right here, and then the continuation. So the second bar is supposed to be inside of the range, the top third of the first bar's range. Well, this isn't. This is way above it. But I think this is higher, over 33.27 by 31.30. Another $2 stop, another large stop. So I'm gonna pass. And then SLDB, I was in this, but on my own. And I got stopped out, or I got trailed out. I don't know where I trailed out of it. And in one day here, it went up, I think 40%. But I had already trailed it, like there. I don't know where. Here. So, but I was in it because look at the monthly on this. Gorgeous. SLDB. Okay. So I like it a lot, and I got shaken out. Do we want to get back in it tomorrow? Maybe. SLDB. Long would be over this base. I'm gonna get back in it. OMI, I don't think so. Okay, trader. Okay, trader. That's your name, right? Okay, trader. That sounds good. Looks good. Looks great. So SLDB looks amazing on the monthly chart. One thing I don't like about the SLDB, looks amazing on the monthly, looks bullish on the daily, is you don't wanna, normally when a stock collapses like this, so notice how it came down, went up to 1150 and then all the way down to like 750 or so. That's like almost, I don't know, 40%, 35%. That is very damaging to the stock, because you have to think about the people that bought it up here. Well, guess what? These people had to endure a huge drop against them. So when the stock starts to move up, they will sell it. Some of them, a lot of them. Which means, does that make sense? Could easily fail. So I don't like really sharp sell-offs like this, because it's hard. Makes the stock hard. Another call that I made last week, it's not, when I say I mean a call, I just mean in the mentorship class, I told the students, I'm willing to bet you whatever you want that this stock will sell off the next day if we get a gap up. Okay, and then lo and behold, GME, and lo and behold, in the after hours shot up to $200, to 200. It didn't occur to me, even though I made that prediction that it would not keep going like it did back here in January. It didn't occur to me to short it, because I wasn't thinking about touching the GME. So I ended up shorting it at 171.17. So at 171, I covered at 108 or so, very close to the low. Okay, maybe $7 off the low or so. So, but because I shorted it so late off the top in the after hours that day, this day in the after hours, it went up all the way up to 200. So I shorted $30 below the top. I only grabbed 25 shares. So the 25 shares made over $1,500. 25 shares. Okay? But if I had gotten it at the top at 200, I would have had maybe 50, maybe 100 shares. So it would have been a much better trade. So overall, money-wise, didn't make that much because I had small size. But why do you think I felt GME was not going to have a sustainable rally like it did here? Okay? Why is that? Simple. Very simple logic. Think about it. The people that held on to it, that bought it over here, up here, this day, that day, were told, yeah, exactly sold. But we're told, what were they told? Diamond hands. Diamond hands is a term that they coined, that Wall Street Bets came up with, meaning, you hold a stock and you don't let it go, like a diamond, right? And you hold it with your both hands. And you don't let it go. So they were told, this is going to 1,000. This is going to the moon, right? And what happened to those people? They got killed. I mean, the stock dropped 90%, I think. In the pre-market that day, it had already went up to 513, I believe. But look at this, 480 to the 40s, right? So that's 90%. so they got killed. So this time, no matter how much the moderators or whoever was telling them in that group to hold, they're not going to hold. I mean, you know what I mean? Oh, it went from $40 to 200 in one day, actually, in 2 days, in one day, because that happened after. They're not going to hold. They're not going to hold. I mean, they got killed last time. So I felt very sure that it was going to work as a short, but it's also GME. You don't want to, like, we're not gamblers here. I try not to be. I try to be, even when I feel very strongly about a position or about a trade, I try to be a little reasonable and not, and not try to be Paul Tudor Jones or something, and go all out, all in, right? So I try to be, I'm not a YOLO, right? You only live once. I'm not a YOLO trader. So I try to keep things sensible, but I felt sure about that. And so when the students the next day saw that it dropped, they were impressed. But I said, no, that's really simple logic. Once you've been trading for a while, it's simple. I mean, to think like that, it's not really anything extraordinary at all. But so that was my thought. That's my thoughts about GME, and I feel GME will probably continue lower at some point. I'm not sure when exactly. I'm not sure if it's going to be tomorrow or next week or who knows. But we'll see. Guys, give me just 1 second here. Okay, 1 sec. Okay, I'm back. All right. So at any rate, we'll see about the SLDB. The reason why I mentioned the GME is for the so because the SLDB again got sold really hard. So the people that are still holding the bags, they might sell on us, which means it might fail. But otherwise, it looks good on the monthly. Let's take a look at the SRTS. Looks nice on the hourly chart. That's where it really looks good. Looks good on the daily also. Breakout. Today's bar wasn't very small, but interesting over the base. Stop under it. I like it. Not sure I'll play it, but I like it. And then VTGN is not sure. It's a daily buy setup basically after a gap up. Very, very bullish, but it's not tight at all. So if I call anything long, it's gonna be one of these three. If I call anything long for tomorrow, the shorts, ICPT is like, I see the weakest stock in the country here. ICPT. This stock up until 2020, we didn't used to get, these huge gaps up until last year. The most you would get like in the past was like 50%. And so ICPT was an exception way back. I don't even remember which year. I'd have to probably add data to it. But this stock gapped up, or in 2 days, it went up from, I don't know, $40-50 to 550. And just, I believe in a couple days. But I don't know what year. I'm just trying to. So this was one of the biggest gaps I had ever seen. Here it is. Oh no, is that it? No, that's not it. Okay, that's not it. Oh, there it is. I think that's it. Look at this. This is one of the biggest gaps I had ever seen. Not from 50 or 40. It's from more like from 70 something to, I guess, to 450, not 550. So huge gap in 2 days. Over 2 days. So from 70 something to 500. Almost 500. Incredible. And then it tried to like retest, right? And it never ever took out that top again. And then we saw here another big gap, but nothing, not to 500, and has never ever taken out the top. It's been bearish ever since basically. I'm sure it's had some bullish periods too, like this is bullish, right? Look at that. But never went back up again. never went back up, and now it is back down to, here it is, fast forward to today, $20. Unbelievable. Which is why you don't get married to stocks. You want to get married to the market? Go ahead. The market always goes up eventually. It might take you 15 years. After the tech bubble, the market took, I think, 16 years to take out the highs from 2000. The March 2000 high took until November of 2016. That's like 15, 16 years later. Okay? But eventually the market over time always goes higher. So you wanna get married to the market, go ahead. But never get married to individual stocks, because you never know. I mean, the same with Qualcomm. It took like 15 years to take out the top, right? So this one looks lower, and the ones that bought it in the hundreds, like 300, 400, are never going to see their money back, ever. I'm sure of it. So this one looks lower, but how do we do it as a swing? It's already down a lot. The only way to do it as a swing would be to short it tomorrow under 21.45 and put the stop over today's high as a 1, 2, 3. Or can give it a little bit more room to appear. It's too risky, but it's just so bearish. Here's the weekly, monthly. Look at this. So bearish. So looks definitely lower. I'd be willing to bet that in a month from now this will be lower than 21.68, or in a couple weeks from now this will be lower. But the setup, not the stop, the setup is kind of tough. There's no real good setup. 1, 2, 3 probably is what I would call it. KPTI, we're already in it. I may add to it. And TCDA, I considered playing it short already today, because it's really bearish. This is the second time that TCDA gets us. Okay, over here we had it swing, and it gapped up. It was up, including the after hours, 39% beyond the target. If you took it in after hours, wonderful. Next day, gap down. Crazy stuff. So, and they got us again. Got in it this day. I had already stopped looking, doing the earnings plays this quarter, so I wasn't aware it was going to report until the last minute. Meaning until that day, the end of the day that day. And it was a bad loss. So it looks very, very good for this is my favorite idea for tomorrow, but it's going to be a big stop. So under 4.75, so let's take a look, and then let's see where the stop is. The bigger problem with it is the R to R. This is here it is. It was already part of today's newsletter as an idea. I don't know if you see it at the bottom right there. But the problem is, this is why I didn't take it, because it looks really good short. Amazing. The next support area, and it looks like a real legitimate support area, 375. So you got we have $1 to target, right? $1 to target. Entries under 4.78. Stop, what's the tightest stop? I mean, there is no place to put it, except for, we could put it above today's high, but that's not a pivot on the hourly chart. Safest stop would be over 550, but let's say we put it above today's high, 523. So let me show you. So 477, 525. Okay, if it got to the absolute low there on the daily chart, the absolute low, it would only be 2-to-1 reward to risk, and that is not even using the secure stop, which would be this bar's high. It'd be using this bar's high, today's bar's high. So again, I like it a lot, but it doesn't have a lot of reward to risk. I'm probably gonna do it still, because it's extremely bearish. I'm surprised I didn't try to day trade it today, but I will tomorrow. I'll keep it as a watch for tomorrow, as a day trade also. So that's my list for tomorrow. As I said, until the market calms down a little bit, I'm gonna take it easy. Okay, I'm not gonna be calling that many plays. The fold, I went over it. I said, reported earnings this morning, And so, I mean, we're just going to take a stop on it probably tomorrow. There's almost no point in raising the stop. You could raise the stop to 68. There's no point. It doesn't look good. Does not look good. We're just going to take a stop on it probably. Let's see, I was triggered into AIV at 479. The AIV entry is 5. Let's see, how is it currently? Hey Claudio, the AIV entry was 533. So I don't know how you got triggered in. I mean, I'd like to be in it from 479, but if you look at the newsletter, it was 533 or 534. It's the weekly high. So right here, over the SPARS high. So it never triggered. So now let's take a look at the hourly chart. This thing, I like it still, but the hourly is a mess. So if I was in it, I would just put the stop under 470. I believe 472. You see the space? So it should not take out this. So I would just put the stop at 474. 475, 474. I usually give it a couple cents, not just one. So 474. And what do you lose? Nothing. I mean, you lose 15 cents on the play. So that's what I would do, and maybe it'll go back up and break out. And if it goes back up, I will call it. It's just that right now it doesn't look very good on the hourly chart. On Thursday or whenever I called it, it was looking like it was going to break out. So it was above the 20. See that? So it looked like it was going to break out, but it didn't. Now I don't think it's ready, but hey, you're in it from here. So I just put the stop. Oh, I'm sorry, you said 79. You'd only lose 5 cents, 4 cents. So you're in it from here, basically. Put the stop right here and break even, and don't touch it otherwise, because I think it looks good on the daily. I just don't think it's quite ready. Let's see. EB, how are ya? It seems that many players are triggering on the open and then immediately tanking. Fold, which is a good name because it did fold. How can we prevent this? If a stock is predisposed to this type of behavior, why do we want to play it? Who said it's predisposed to doing this behavior? If I obviously knew that the fold was gonna gap and then tank, then yes. If I thought it was predisposed to selling off. But what I was saying over the last hour or so is the market right now is incredibly sloppy. So so I'm willing to take a play or 2 plays, 1 long, 1 short, but that's it. Recently we've been taking a dozen plays a day on average. I'm willing to do 1 play here, 2 plays maybe, until the market settles down. So I think the market is a huge factor. Now the reason why it folded is because it reported earnings this morning. So it gapped up and then just sold off. It looked really, really good. I knew about the earnings, but Jeff, who's a subscriber to the newsletter, emailed me about it. And I knew, but look, I just liked it a lot as a breakout on the hourly chart. We've done this pattern a lot with a lot of success. I mean, the most recent play that looked like this was the EH. No, not EH. EHTH. Same exact play. Gap down, based, and then we played the hourly base breakout. There it is. Of course, nobody complained about this because it got to target. Got to target in 2-3 days, in our favor, right? And then recently Blue, which is another biotech stock, same thing, worked, but the fold didn't work. Funny the name, right? MORF, I'll take a look, sure. Oh my goodness, holy cow, what is this? MORF. Wow. Yeah, no way, I wouldn't know what to do with this. It's just crazy stuff. Wow. Dion Air was cancelled as a play some time ago. Why it was killed? It would have triggered today. It wasn't cancelled, Drew. It was not cancelled. It triggered. So, okay. It triggered. Should be an open play. Okay. No problem. GTE, let's take a look. DRNA is a long-term play too. GTE, it's too weak. So, you see how, okay, pull back, but you see how whenever it tried to go higher, it failed. Wide range green bar, higher? No, failed. Tried to go higher, failed. So, it's no good for now. Below the 20 on the hourly chart, no good. I'm in the KHC. I was up on $600. It's up $3,000. Exactly $3,000 at the top there from here. But now it's way too sloppy, so I'm not sure about it. In fact, on the weekend I was thinking maybe I made a mistake holding it, but it's hard to tell. It's just so sloppy. I'm in it because of the monthly. So KHC, here it is. There's the monthly transition A. But we've also seen transition A plays fail. They don't always work, right? So I don't know. It looks good still, but it got too sloppy. If it moves up here, then I'm just gonna raise the stop. My stop is here now, 35 or so. But yeah, this is too sloppy. Okay, so I don't think this is a good idea yet, Claudio. Pierre, how should we approach new entries that trigger in the pre-market and open above the entry price? Wait for it. Yes, wait for a pullback. It's the right thing to do from my experience. Don't chase them, and if they keep going, so be it. We see a lot of plays, they gap and they just go. That's fine. I will live with that. But chasing is, for me, is a disaster. So my suggestion is keep the play, the entry in this. Now you give it a little bit of room also, meaning, let's say you want to play this right here long, and the stock gaps up. Okay, but if the entry is at 36, give it to 36.10 maybe. So that you'll get filled when it pops, or if it pulls back, you still you're not sticking with just 36. You're giving it a little bit of room. But I don't chase them. So I don't trade the pre-market. I just wait for the open. Okay. Also, along the same line, if one of our positions hits a stop in the after hours of the pre-market and bounces back above it, I don't trade the pre and post-market. 9 out of 10 times I don't make money trading the pre or post market. It's not that I don't make money. The right way to put it would be that when I trade when I get in or out of my positions in the pre and post market, the next day I always have reason to regret. I always think, oh, I wish I wish I hadn't touched it. So, and I tracked my plays. I traded I did 15 plays in the after hours, swing trades, a couple years ago that I gotten in or out of in the after hours, and 14 out of the 15 I would have been better off if I had waited until the open the next day. So that immediately told me I should not look to get in or out of the swing plays in the after hours. Wait until the next day, or wait until the open. So that's just based on experience. Okay, based on experience. Okay. Oh, you meant GTT. Got it. You're just messing with me here. GTT. Oh, I don't know. I tried to day trade. I made $600 on it, day trading it, but I just couldn't hang on to it. It was too wild, and I missed this pop right there. I played it here on the breakout. I was scalping it. I don't know. This is the second time it does the same thing. By the way, is it up in the after hours? Probably is. And yeah, it's up a little bit to 194. This is the second time it does this. This day it also did the same thing. Popped really hard, the same thing, and only to come back down the next day. There it is, right? Only to come back down the next day. So I don't know. I have no idea on the GTT. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. I don't mind trying to pick the bottom, but I need price to be above the 20 on the hourly and the 20 MA on the hourly to be pointing up, which is the blue line. So if it was basing up here, sure, because it's down a lot, but it's not. It just looks like a mess. I wouldn't touch it for swing trading, I mean. So the GTT. KIQ, let's take a look at that. KIQ in a sloppy buy setup. Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Unfortunately, a lot of these little stock, which were the ones that made a lot of the money recently, they got too sloppy and they stopped moving up. So remember in February the little stocks, how well we did with the little stocks, the $1, $2, $3 stocks. Every day we had a 50% move in our favor, 50% gap, 50% move. But right now they stopped moving up, so we just have to wait a little bit. So KIQ is way too sloppy in my opinion, and the monthly doesn't look that good. I would go with the BOXL if I were you. this is sloppy daily, but at least the larger time frames look better than the KIQ. Okay. Frank, how are you? Are there any situations where you would? Are you Frank Costello from The Departed? Did you watch the? Have you watched The Departed? The movie called Departed. It's a pretty good movie. Are there any situations where you would look to close out a position before the stop is triggered? I mean, I don't know. Swing trades, day trades all the time, yes. Swing trades, for the most part, no, because I have my stop in the system. But I don't know. If you feel like for sure it's gonna stop, then go for it. Don't wait. But most of the time, I have my stop in the system. Most of the time, for swing trades, because I don't, I'm not watching the swing account like a hawk during the day. I don't even have it on my swing platform. I don't even have it on my trading platform, on my trading computer at all. I don't even have it installed. I have it on the side machine where I scan, because I don't want to be watching the swings closely. Then I'll mess them up. Then I'll get out too soon. I'll tend to mess them up, and then it'll interfere with my day trading. So I try not to do that too much. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Pierre, sounds good. Since the sell-off, what would be a good entry on Klein and FCell for long term? Let's take a look. Klein is not very clean. Clean Energy is not very clean at all. Look, so you have to look for evidence. It's like part of our job as traders is to look for evidence of what? Evidence of buyers failing to get the job done, sellers failing to get the job done. So for example, I'll just give you an example. This was extremely bearish novice gap, and it worked as a novice gap, as a short. But what happened? Did the price fall? No, it didn't. So and then it continued higher. So when I see something like this and then the stock continued higher, that tells me the buyers are in total control. Does that make sense? So okay, let's see about here. The sellers are in control after that wide range engulfing bar, and the buyers showed up right here. Did they produce any follow through to the upside? No. But was that a big bar? Like, did it trigger? No. Here's a better bar. Triggered the buy setup at the 20 MA at support. Did we produce follow through to this bar? No. So what does that tell you? The sellers are in control. It does not look good long. Now, I haven't looked at it on multiple time frames, to be honest with you. So let's go ahead and look at it on the weekly and the monthly. It may be okay long term, but it needs to reclaim the 20. The buyers need to take control again, and then you can do it. But as of right now, it does not look good. Weekly, I don't know. It's hard. It's very, very bullish, but it also, went from $2 to 50 to 20. I mean, that's crazy. That's 1,000% almost. So my point is, it might pull back to here, to $10, before it goes back up. If it does at all, not everything is gonna go up over time. We were just talking about the ICPT, how it went from $500 and today it's at 21, right? So not everything is gonna just keep going up. So sometimes, and being wrong about the entry or being too early about the entry, like way too early, is not really very different from being totally wrong. If you're too early or too late in trading, it's the same as being wrong about the play altogether. So Clean Energy does not look very clean to me, and FCell I think also similar, stopped out, broke the 20, right? Look at this, for the first time since it broke out in November when it was just a $2 stock, it's below the 20. The 20 is pointing down. So this looks like Tesla, very similar to Tesla. Could it get a bounce? Sure. Does it look good long term? No, not yet. Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. Did I miss your question? I apologize. Sami, what price will you buy SIL and SILJ? If I ever missed your question, I want you to know that it's never intentional, because some people get offended thinking that I skip their question on purpose. It never really is on purpose. Even if we have a history of you and me not getting along or something, I will never skip your because you're a subscriber. You're entitled to me answering your questions and being, doing serving you basically. This does not look good at all. I would never buy it unless it went back up and took out, let's say, 46.50 or so. It needs to reclaim the 20 MA. Okay, so the I'll take a look at it on multiple time frames though. It just doesn't look good at all. And here's proof. It gapped up, right? What happened to the gap? Got killed. Here's proof. Weekly. I just looked at it on the multiple time. That's proof for you. It tried to go higher to take out the highs and got killed. So it does not look good. It's silver, something silver, right? Does not look good. Looks lower. There's a lot of support below. So it's really hard to short it because there's a lot of support below, but if anything it's lower, not higher. And this is probably the same. This is slightly stronger, by the way. SILJ. Slightly stronger. But similar picture. It does not look good at all. I would never do it. I mean, as of right now. Next month or so, it goes back up and it starts, like so, and starts to base here, goes sideways here. Then sure, we can play it as a breakout. But for right now, it's no good. Okay. Drew, do you think it's worth keeping a more balanced long versus short? Not at all. In case of the big crashes, no, not at all. It's like, this goes back to like diversification issue. Is it better to be diversified? It's best to be long in a bullish market, short in a bearish market. And what's best is to find good setups that are on their own page to some extent, as much as possible, and play and focus on these regardless of what the market does. Okay, now if the market is incredibly wild, like it was, this is 3, 4, 5% each swing. Yeah, that's a little too much, even for plays that are kind of on their own page. They will get affected. They'll be affected by it. So we'll just take it easy during that time. But in terms of like trying to avoid risk by having like a balanced portfolio in terms of shorts and longs, you'll never make money. I am almost sure. I'm sure. Talk to the hedge fund managers. Do they do that? No, they don't. Okay. So I answered that question about silver, right? Okay. You banked 30 last week, even though the market was shaky. Was the majority of your money made day trading? No, I didn't bank 30,000 last week. I banked 30,000 day trading last week. But the swing trading in one day, I made 13,000 in one day on the swing trades. But I was just talking about the E-Trade account, and that was my slowest week of the year. I've been averaging over 60 a week. And knock on wood, I don't usually average 60 a week, 60k. But I've been averaging about 65 if you do the math. And so last week was my slowest, and I noticed that I made 31 in the day trading account. So, but I don't know exactly how much the swings made. I think, I don't think I made 30. But I'm pretty sure I didn't. So the day trades did the majority. They made the most money. Most of the money for me. Okay. So this is last week. What was last week? The dates. So this is March, February 22nd through 26th. So this is the year, by the way. See the year? And then this is last week, February 22nd. I don't know where it is. Oh, this is January. 26. Thought it was 30. 31. About 31. Okay. That was last week, but that was the slowest week for me this year, by far the slowest week. But I was teaching on, I think, I'm happy to do coaching with the webcam on, but to trade while having the webcam on, the whole day from 5:30 a.m. my time till it's hard. I just don't think the webcam was meant for day trade to have it on while day trading. So I had that, and then I had screen sharing, and I had to teach and trade. I felt it was hard. All right. At any rate, Did IVR? Do you like IVR? Yeah, let's take a look at it. IVR. Um, I don't know. And remember, we played the IVR right here. It looked perfect, but it wouldn't freaking work. I mean, it worked, and I didn't take it because I was expecting 850 or so. Actually, I think target one was $5, so it got close to target one. We played it right here as a breakout. Oh yeah, Tom. You know I'm real with you. You know I'll tell you when I mess up, when I do well. So we didn't take it there, and then I took it under the sparse low or something like this. So because it started to like pivot, but it wasn't even a real pivot. So I got out of it here for like, I don't know, very little money. And it went back up, but it's too sloppy. It's just too sloppy. MIT has been MITT, which is another mortgage REIT. This is better, a lot cleaner. But again, IVR, I do have it in my spreadsheet. So I have a spreadsheet. I'm only sharing with you a few symbols here, right? I have a spreadsheet with hundreds of symbols that I scan every week. And then on the weekend, I scan my entire stock universe, which is like a few thousand charts, and I add to the list. So this is one of the items that I have in my spreadsheet that I'm watching. But for now, it's too sloppy, so I don't like it as of right now. Don't like it at all. All right, so that's IVR. Is the screen blank? Yeah, the J&J, you might want to refresh, please, or the page. I would be happy to refresh, but then the screen goes blank might go blank for 50 people. Let's see. NEO and PLTR. You see that 20 MA? What is the 20 MA telling us? It's pointing down, isn't it? So it's not very good. It's not good at all for right now. And PLTR same, but PLTR has more room, I think. Yes. PLTR has more room until it gets to resistance, unlike the NEO. Doesn't have a lot of room. So I just think, look guys, I want to trade just as much as any of you does. I mean, just as much as anybody else does. But I don't want to be taking bad trades. Do you guys want to be taking bad trades? Do you want to be losing money? I don't think so. So try not to take bad trades. Try to only wait for the good trades to set up. And if they do, then great. If they don't, then you just wait as much as possible. And right now, we talked about the market a lot. When you have these huge swings, it's horrible for swing trading. I remember on Friday the swing trades were open at the open profit at the open. On Friday, was it Friday? I believe it was Friday. I was up just open profit, $3,500, which isn't a lot for the swing trades because sometimes I'm up 10K in open profit on the swing. I was up $3,500. I went home like zero, almost at zero on Friday in the open plays. Gave it all back. Why? Not because the plays weren't good, because of the market. So just be careful. When you have these kind of huge wild swings, you gotta wait until the market settles down. Doesn't mean you can't take anything at all, but we can't be taking a dozen plays like we have been, right? Like we've been doing. I think if I had, in terms of like the biggest play, I said Tesla last week was my biggest play. Probably for the month. But the truth is, Tesla was my biggest loss also in my other account, in my E-Trade account, because with Tesla, I like this day I had 100 shares, and then I added 150 right here, so I had 250 shares on it, and I was up $8,000, only to give it all back and lose and more. But 250, that's a lot of shares for Tesla. And then so I tried it there, added there. We tried it, I don't know which other day we tried it, and it didn't work. I'm not sure which day, but I tried it this day. Yeah, and then at 8:48, I think we took a stop. So as far as I should be, see, 8:48. So I once, twice, three times, huge size. So actually, if we look at Tesla year to date, it's by far my biggest loss. Because I did the swing Tesla in this account. If we go all the way down to the bottom, look at this. So even though on Friday it made 9K, or Thursday, or I don't know which day, Tuesday, It made 11k. I'm down 9k on it in this account. By far the biggest loss. The second biggest loss is, I mean, these two, $3,000, right? That's the second biggest loss I have. So at any rate, so Tesla is not like, is my best trade ever, not at all, right? This one would have been my best trade in February, I think, IFMK. But of course, this would have been my best because we didn't add to it. We played it here, right? We got out of half, but then we reloaded. We added this day. I'm talking right here. We added, and it went up to $4. But of course, of all days that I could have gone to the dentist, I was in a lot of pain. So this was the day that I wasn't around. So the target on it was like $3, but it went up to 4. I would have loved to have gotten out at 3. I would not have gotten out at 3. I probably would have gotten out at 4. So I believe I had like 7,000 shares. I think 7,000 shares on it. In it, do you know where I ended up getting out of it? At 214, which is like one of these bars. This bar probably 214. So that was, I mean, from 4 to 2. That's 7,000 on 7,000 shares. That's $14,000 swing by going to that dentist appointment. But again, and I knew not to do it because it was already hot, but I was in a lot of pain, and so I just so that would have been probably my best trade for February. That probably would have been my best trade if I hadn't if I was around to take the profit on it, but I wasn't. And so the next day it gapped against me a huge amount. Now it still made good money because we got it here at like $1 something, $1.10, and then another, and then over here at 120 added to the position. So it still made money. I mean, it made like 100%, didn't it? About 100%. But I mean, I didn't get out here, so that's the issue. 425 actually. So that was like the best and the worst trade for me. Any thoughts on Workhorse? Let's take a look. Let's see what the chart says. The chart says, no, I don't know what the chart says. The chart says on the hourly chart looks higher to the prior high. The daily is a total mess. It's hard to read. So I don't know on the Workhorse. Just no clue. It got damaged. Look, when a stock is down a lot, like when a stock, I mean, I can show you some chart examples that I have taken pictures of. Let me show you. Why don't I show you, okay? I'll show you. Just give me a sec, okay? I'll show you what I mean. When the stock is down a lot and then puts in a really wide range red bar like this bar, okay, you can play it as a long, but I'll show you in just a second. But this was a brand new breakdown. It wasn't like it exhausted the sellers. It started the sell-off, and now I can't show you the charts. So hold on just 1 second, please. It's gonna show you what I mean. Oh yeah, I can show you. Hold on just a second. I don't know where, but give me a sec. Hold on. Sorry. Oh, transition C. Okay, the next one. Okay, it should be the next strategy. There it is. So look at that, guys. So you can see am I projecting correctly? Yeah, I am. So check this out. If you have a stock that's down a lot, see how this was down a lot, and then puts in a wide range bar, by all means play it long. Let's look to play it long. Okay, by all means, down a lot and then accelerates, puts in the volume. Great. This is not the best. Look at this. Down a lot, wide range bars, huge volume, far from the 20. Okay, and here's the best. No, that's not the best. This is the best. This is HLF, by the way. Herbalife. When Ackman, came out and said, "Oh, I have 20 million shares short," collapsed, and then from there, and I took it long, from I don't know $12, I believe, to 18 to the 20, and then it kept going, and it went to 100. But I mean, I took it here, the 20, and if I had just held it bar by bar, check it out, it never trailed, bar by bar. I mean, it kept going. I don't know where it eventually would have trailed, but bar by bar on the daily chart. I took it at $12. I kept some. I day traded it, kept some swing, and I got out at like 18, something like this, 17, and I thought I did well. It kept going just bar by bar on the daily chart. It would have kept me in it till I don't know where. So if the stock is down a lot and then accelerates, great. Let's play it long. Okay, let's play it long. No problem. But if the stock puts in, just, was going about its business, maybe uptrending, and then collapses on some bearish news, those I don't play. That's anybody's guess. Flip a coin. Honestly, flip a coin. So what you can do is look at the smaller time frames and see if they look higher. And this, the 20 MA caught up and now it's pointing up. So perhaps it's higher. It is. But this is not a good setup. It's not a good setup, okay, on Workhorse. So for me, I will be passing on it, okay? What are my top earning symbols lately? I don't know. Today was like a mess. I didn't trade well today at all. I couldn't trade. I couldn't get going today. Today I made 477, but I just messed up today. I messed up at the open. I was in ZOM and it collapsed and whatever. So, okay. So lately my top earning symbols, I don't know. I really don't know, honestly, but I can look at last week. I did well on the TRCH. I know I did well on the TRCH. I did well on ZOM last week. And I don't remember the rest. So those two did okay. I don't remember what I did last week. I can go back and take a look, but I don't. E-Trade is just, it's just the website is very hard to like navigate through. No, not navigate through, but to like figure things out, like the top symbols for last week. I can tell you what they were for last month, but I already know what they were last month. No, I can't even tell you for last month. I can just tell you for year to date what they were. Sandal, obviously, ZOM, But I don't know even for last month, because it just doesn't show you. It doesn't. E-Trade is not a very sophisticated broker, I think. Hold on just 1 second. I'm trying to see if I can look at last week's data through the website and see if I can tell. I can't tell. So here's last week. This is last week, but I just I don't know how to tell without having to type in the symbol one at a time. That's last week. So let's see. So I know TRCH was one of the best for me last week. TRCH, and then the ZOM was also pretty good, but I don't know what else was good. Trying to. It's not moving. Oh, that's it? 2 pages? Huh, 2 pages. That's it. So maybe, hold on, maybe I can eyeball the symbols, because it usually doesn't. So let me just see. So GSAT also made okay money. I see that GSAT did well last week. See what the GSAT did today. It sold off. So GSAT did well last week. Just two pages, meaning I didn't trade much last week. And then the other symbol, Sandal did okay also last week. TRCH number 1. Oh, VST. What's VST? Oh, that's the gapped out on Friday. So VST did okay. So here's my symbols for last week. You want to see them all? I thought there would be more. The day trades. I thought there would be more. So here they are. Look to the left right here. Doesn't give you. In this case, it's giving me. Symbol by symbol. Sometimes it doesn't add them up basically. So biggest wins and losses. GSAT. There it is. Let's go to the next page. Sandal 56 65. Oh, this one. TRCH, VST, ZOM. But why? So I don't have anything huge. That's it. This one, that one, that one, that one, and then the GSAT. And then you look at the P&L and you say, how did how did it add up to 31? It's because look at my losses. Do you see my losses? What's my biggest loss? $300 the whole week. Where's my biggest loss? I saw it. I think it was $300. 238. That might have been it. I think I saw 300. 350. 57 PBR. That's my biggest loss. There's 200 here. That's my biggest loss. That's my That's my biggest loss. PBR. Can you believe it? So that's how they add up to 31k. Okay. Let's see. Steve, I think I got the PBR from you, by the way. That was my biggest loss. I'm totally kidding with you, but yes, but I think I got it from you. Oh boy. Okay, I'll take a look at the SKLZ. SKLZ. It's under the 20. Deep pullback. I don't like it, but I'll look at it on multiple time frames, like on my other platform. It's good because I'm looking at the weekly. That's a nice weekly buy setup, but you need to pass on the first entry and do the next entry once it sets up, because it's under the 20 on the daily. You got resistance above, so if it goes back above the 20, then you can start watching it for a pullback. So on the next entry. Okay. Question: when you post a newsletter, can you post the share sizing? That's my share sizing. Why would I want to confuse 1,000 people by telling them what share size to get or what I'm getting? I'm just telling you what to get, and you can calculate the share size, by the way. I mean, based on the risk. So if the risk is 50%, it means I'm taking $1,000 risk. If the risk is 100%, it means I'm taking $2,000 risk. And the share size formula is the risk divided by the entry minus the stop price. So you can actually do the math if you want. But if I were to add a column that says share size, people are going to get confused. Some people might just buy the same shares that I buy, and they, and might not be able to stomach the volatility. So I don't want to publish the share size. I just want to tell you what I'm risking, basically 500 or 1,000. I can start typing 500 risk, but but then some people might risk $500, and I don't want you to risk $500 or $50. I want you to risk whatever you want. I just want to tell you whether I'm taking full risk or half risk. Okay. All right. So skill Z on the next entry, and then okay. So Steve, I answer your question. When you put let's see. Can you skill? Okay. I suppose use IBKR platform previously. Yes, I have. IBKR Lite doesn't have the stop loss. What do you recommend? Are you serious? No. I was told that you can use TWS now with IBKR. You can use TWS as long as your account is IBKR Lite. So you can use TWS, and TWS definitely has a stop loss. So download TWS. It's free. Okay, and you can use stop losses. This is why I can't use some of the free brokers like the apps that don't allow you to put stop losses in the system. I'm never gonna use those. So there is no substitute if you can't use a stop loss order. Okay. And you can also buy partial shares. Wow, that's pretty good. Alright guys, I have so much to do because I was basically out the entire week last week. I was out the entire weekend, and so I have so much to do. I'm gonna go ahead and step off the mic. Top scanning platforms TC2000 by far, and then for swing trading, and then for day trading, it's not really. I don't have any well, it's Realtek EMZ, but I don't know. I just for day trading, it's my gaps list, and every day it's different. For swing trading, by far, the only thing I use is TC2000 for swing trading. Yeah, I know, I gotta run. Thanks so much, everybody. Appreciate you sticking around. I hope you enjoyed today's session, and will be back at it next week. And of course, I'm going to work on the newsletter and send it out. I mean, not send it out shortly, but be done with it hopefully shortly. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful evening. Take care, everybody.